Hi, my name is Stephanie Yates-Anyabwile, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. In today's video, we're going to be talking about family dynamics in television and film. This is a scene from Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
You are beaten. It is useless to resist. Don't let yourself be destroyed as Obi-Wan did.
I always emphasize the importance of intent. Did Darth Vader really think that this was a method that would be effective in having Luke join his side? Getting in a fight with him, ultimately chopping off his arm? Was this part of your strategy when you're originally thinking that you wanted to win him over to the dark side? He tried strategy one, which was a scare tactic.
There's no escape. Don't make me destroy you.
And he could see that's not working. He's like, all right, so let's try this.
I am your father.
Now will you join the dark side? And that is a manipulative tactic. You just cut my arm off. Is this really the time for that revelation? Maybe he thought that would make Luke feel a sense of loyalty and feel like, oh, this is an answer to a question I've always had about myself. Instead, Luke feels deceived.
No, it's not true. That's impossible!
Darth Vader just does not have an understanding of Luke's motives. How do you rekindle a relationship with someone when you've missed out on a lot of history of their life? You've got to treat this person almost like a stranger. Part of that is going to be patience. They don't have to clear out time for you. They can give you what they're able to offer you emotionally now, and right now that might be nothing. But if you are truly wanting to create a relationship with this person, you have to be patient with them and show them that maybe you've changed, which would be evidenced by your ability to communicate and be more understanding. This is a scene from the Brady Bunch.
Every time Marcia turns around, they hand her a blue ribbon or something.
Oh, now, Jan, you know that isn't so. Marcia's worked very hard for those things.
Well, all I hear all day long at school is how great Marcia is at this or how wonderful Marcia did that. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
So I want to comment on how the parents were responding to Jan's concerns. They're trying to give her the opportunity to express how she feels, and I love that she's talking with both parents. That's one of my favorite things about the Brady Bunch is that I think they did a great job of showing, the benefit of having two parents be very involved in the kids' lives. They were allowing her to express her feelings, but then also, they were kind of trying to challenge some of those thoughts.
I'm tired of being in Marcia's shadow all the time.
Now, Jan, you're not in anybody's shadow. Well, Marcia's 3 years older than you. She should have more to show for herself.
From a rational standpoint, that makes sense, right? You're like, oh, okay, yeah. But what's Jan supposed to do with that? Because Marcia's always going to be 3 years older than her. And if she already has an inferiority complex, then that means that she's signing up for the rest of her life to feel like she's 3 years behind her sister.
Jan, come on. You have to be realistic about this. Nobody has smooth sailing all the time.
Well, that's right. Marcia has her disappointments, too. She doesn't always win.
Intellectualization is actually a defense mechanism. So when you're in an argument with someone and that person is dead set on rationalizing themselves out of that conversation, you think, well, hey, they're thinking it through. That's a good thing. This other person's all in their emotions and this person's thinking logically. Like when you tell somebody to calm down, from a rational perspective, that makes sense. But that person feels completely invalidated, and usually that does not solve the problem. I think if they would have tapped a little bit more into her emotional world, it might have been even more productive. This is a scene from Turning Red.
Mayday, what is this?
It's nothing, just the boy. He's
a
no
boy?
one.
Who is he? Did he do these things to you?
No, it's just made up, Mom. It's not real.
That hat, is that the sketchy clerk from the Daisy Mart?
So when a parent invades their kid's privacy, what you think you're communicating to your child is, I will always protect you. But that is not typically what's actually communicated. What you're communicating to your child is, I do not trust you.
Thank goodness I was here. That degenerate won't come near you again. Now, is there anything else I should know about Maymay?
Nope. All good.
I thought in this moment, she was going to have all this anger, I say appropriately, toward her mother. But what we saw her do instead...
You sicko! What were you thinking? Why would you draw those things? Those horrible, awful, sexy things!
She was genuinely upset with herself for having a crush, right? But we all know a crush is a part of our development. It's a part of socialization. But she missed out on the opportunity of solidifying what she was looking for in a partner because she was shamed for having a crush. Sometimes, you know, the way we express our love is completely toxic. When we are constantly criticizing, chastising, protecting our kids, we're keeping them from developing confidence in certain areas where really she probably could have handled the situation herself, but her mother took that opportunity away from her, and that's one less skill she'll have when she's an adult. This scene is from The Sopranos.
You know, it's always what you think, isn't it? It's never how I feel.
Oh, poor you. It's all your mother's fault, isn't it?
I didn't say that.
You're mama's boy.
You're gonna call me names now?
The perspective of a lot of people would be that the therapist was too quiet. But I actually think that it's just a reflection of how solid the individual therapy he's been doing with the son is. The son was able to actually advocate for himself.
I was in the garage, and you said, what kind of animal smokes marijuana at his confirmation?
He was using illegal drugs in the home.
Did it ever occur to you that I might have been self-medicating?
You can hear the words he's using. You can hear the phrases like self-medicating, staying firm in his opinion on things. You could tell that there's been a lot of growth. They probably did some role play. They probably came up with talking tracks for this session, and the therapist fully trusted his client to conduct and guide that session. An area that this therapist could have improved in was letting the parents know this is a collateral session. This is your opportunity just to learn more about what led him to being in this office. The fact that your child has included you in these sessions lets you know that obviously you're very important to them. If you're speaking and no one's listening to you, you're wasting energy. So I would have actually asked the father, I'm noticing that you're looking down. Do we still have your attention?
Would you like to tell your parents what your grandmother said?
What'd she say?
That it's all a big nothing.
What is?
Life.
One of the biggest models that is used for self-harm or suicidality is a model called dialectical behavior therapy. And including family in those sessions is a part of that model. But there are some instances where that can actually be counterproductive. And this could possibly be one of those situations where the family is the biggest trigger for those thoughts. This is a scene from the Kardashians.
Kind of like in shock, and I'm also telling myself, like, don't be nervous. This is one of the best moments of your life.
In some ways, they're dealing with a lot of the same stuff that a lot of us are dealing with, like blended families.
How do I tell my kids? I feel like I need to tell them now because they're gonna see it on the internet.
No, you probably should go in private.
I was happy to see that Kourtney was already thinking, I don't want my kids to find this out through social media. That is just not usually the best way for people to find out important information.
Mom got a ring! Is that upsetting? Why are you sad, baby? Do wish that my kids were here. I think it would have made them feel more included in the decision, kind of, and like part of the surprise.
I do think that the kids should have been involved. That's the worst fear of a blended family, is that now in this structure, I no longer matter. And when you don't incorporate people, especially kids, into those decisions, it's just confirmation of those fears. The best way to recover from a situation like this is to create a space where all of the kids don't feel like they could be punished for sharing negative opinions or fears.
I think that it's really important for Scott to like be accepting of our relationship so that the kids can feel good.
A lot of times the blessing of that other parent is all a kid needs to feel like they're not being split in two. This is a scene from Home Alone.
Did anyone order me plain cheese?
Oh yeah, we did. But if you want any, somebody's gonna have to barf it all up, because it's gone.
matter with you?
He started it. He ate my pizza on purpose. He knows I ate sausage and olives and
Look what
onions
you did, you little jerk.
This kid is what we refer to as the identified patient. They carry the burden of being the problem of the family.
People in this house, you're the only one who has to make trouble.
I'm the only one getting dumped on.
You're the only one acting up. Now get upstairs.
This is much easier to use them as a scapegoat than to recognize that there are some dysfunctional patterns within the family. The presenting problem with this family is that they are having difficulty, the parents, in providing each child with attention. For you to be able to leave a whole kid at home, you know, that really says something about how busy you are, how much you have going on. And that really is the problem. I had a therapist that told me that they don't see kids because kids don't have problems, parents do. And this is a great example of that. One cannot physically abandon their kid without emotionally abandoning them. How does this play out into adulthood? We know. It's self-sabotaging. It's using that avoidant attachment where maybe you don't want to be vulnerable with anybody. You might be in a relationship for years, yet you haven't opened up about your secrets. Maybe this person has never seen you cry. You're in life trying to create the relationships you're seeing other people have without the tools to be able to do that. Therapy is important because it gives you a completely new setting, which opens the floor for new possibilities, expanding on hope. It gives you new ways to communicate with the people that you care about, to be able to have conversations that maybe you've never felt comfortable having on your own, and getting a little support, getting some ideas and techniques on how to best communicate. We all play a part in our family dynamics. We contribute to dysfunction. And one of the biggest things that I work with my clients on is recognizing your contribution. And if there are some things that you're wanting to see changed, it's gonna start with working on yourself. Thanks for watching this video. Take care.